Why do dreams feel so real? You were just somewhere else. You were talking to someone you haven't seen in years. You were running from something you can't remember. You were in a house that doesn't exist, but you knew exactly where the kitchen was. None of it happened. None of it was real. But while you were in it, you believed every second. You never once stopped and asked, wait, is this a dream? You never noticed that the laws of physics were broken. You never questioned why your dead grandmother was sitting across from you like it was a Tuesday afternoon. You just accepted it, and then you woke up. Your brain creates an entire world every night. People, places, conversations, emotions. All from nothing. All while you lie motionless in bed. And the strangest part isn't that it happens. The strangest part is that you can't tell it's fake while it's happening. So what is actually going on inside your head? Let's start with what's off. When you dream, one specific part of your brain goes quiet. It's called the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. That's the region responsible for logic, self-awareness, and reality checking. The part of you that notices when something doesn't add up. During REM sleep, when most dreams happen, that part shuts down, almost completely. So your brain is generating a chaotic, impossible story. But the part of you that would normally say, hey, this doesn't make sense, is offline. You're inside a simulation with your doubt turned off. That's why you can be flying through a supermarket while chased by a lion, and your only thought is, I hope I find the cereal aisle. Now here's where it gets stranger. The emotional center of your brain, the amygdala, doesn't shut down. It actually becomes more active during REM sleep, sometimes 2 to 3 times more active than when you're awake. So while your logic is offline, your emotions are turned up to full volume. That's why dreams feel so intense. The fear is real fear. The love is real love. The panic, the joy, the grief. Your body responds to all of it as if it's happening. Your heart rate changes. Your breathing shifts. You sweat. You cry. You are emotionally present in a world that doesn't exist, and your brain has no way of knowing the difference. Here's a strange fact. If you hook someone up to a brain scanner while they're dreaming about running, the same parts of their brain light up as if they were actually running. If they dream about talking, their language centers activate. If they dream about seeing a face, their face recognition regions fire. From your brain's perspective, you really did all of that. The memory of the dream is stored using the same systems that store real memories, which is why sometimes, weeks later, you'll remember something and genuinely not know if it happened in real life or in a dream. Your brain didn't file it differently. It just happened. Now let's talk about the weirdest part. Why don't you notice? You're in a house that's not your house, but you treat it like home. The person in front of you keeps changing faces, but you don't flinch. You were in a forest, and now you're underwater, and there was no transition, and you don't care. This is called dream logic, and it's one of the most bizarre things the human brain does. Scientists think it happens because your brain is constantly trying to make sense of random signals during REM sleep. Your brainstem fires off bursts of activity. Your visual cortex lights up without any input from your eyes. Your memory systems pull up random fragments, and your brain, desperate to create a coherent story, stitches it all together on the fly. It's improv. Your entire dream is improv. The story changes because the brain can't keep up with its own signals. One second you're at work, the next you're on a beach, because a random neuron fired, and your brain had to incorporate that into the narrative. Instantly. Without hesitation. And because your reality checking is offline, you just roll with it. But here's what should disturb you. If your brain can do this while you sleep, generating a fully convincing reality with full emotional weight, complete with other people, conversations, and physical sensations. What exactly is waking reality? Neuroscientists have started asking this question more seriously, because when you really look at it, what your brain does when you're awake isn't that different. Your eyes send electrical signals. Your brain interprets them. Your brain creates the experience of seeing. You never actually see the world directly. You see your brain's best guess of what's out there. Dreams are your brain running without sensory input. Waking life is your brain running with sensory input. Both are simulations. One just has a live feed. This is why some researchers think lucid dreaming is so important. In a lucid dream, that prefrontal cortex wakes back up. Just for a moment, you realize you're dreaming. And when that happens, something strange occurs. The dream doesn't end. You stay inside it. But now you can think, you can question, you can even control what happens. That flicker of awareness is the closest we've ever gotten to seeing the simulation from the inside while it's running. Most people experience it at least once in their lives. A split second of realizing, I'm dreaming, before either waking up or slipping back into the story. It's proof that the brain is capable of self-awareness inside a dream, but it usually chooses not to use it. Think about what that means. Every night your brain builds a world, populates it with people, writes a story, makes you feel things, and convinces you completely that it's real, and then you forget most of it within minutes of waking up. You've lived thousands of dream lives you'll never remember. You've felt things that never happened. You've loved people who don't exist. You've run from things that were never there. And somewhere in there is a question scientists still can't answer. If your brain can create a reality so convincing that you can't tell it's fake from the inside, how do you know you're not dreaming right now? Look around, check your hands, count your fingers. Everything seems solid. Everything seems consistent. Everything seems real. But that's exactly what it would feel like.